What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chantel's Beauty Talk, and it is yet another Sunday. It is yet another week that we are starting new. And today I am so excited to have my girl, Darcel, who is the CEO and founder of Bouquet Bundles. She is going to tell us all about her bundles, her hair, how to order them, how to purchase them, and we're going to have a promo code. So, as I always say, beauty is on the inside, beauty is on the outside, and of course, beauty is always loving yourself. And we're going to love ourselves by finding out about these bundles because, as I know as a black woman, and some people may not agree, but I could always use some extra hair laying around so I can get cute. So, I would like to say thank you everybody who is joining. How are you? What's good, Sherry? What's good, Darcel? I see you. What's up, LS? What's up, Toya? What's up, all of my beautiful black girls? Black girls rock. Black women rock. Like everybody, I love you all. And I'm ready to get into all this. I'm rocking the natural today. I had to let my hair breathe for a little bit, but definitely best believe Darcel and I are going to get together because, you know, I'm going to come with a different style, a different slay. So, Darcel, without further ado, we are starting on time today, y'all. I'm going to load you in, sis. Hair done, nails done, everything done.
Hey, boo.
Hey, my love. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Okay, so, you know, I was playing Lizzo, good as hell, because she talks about hair done, nails done, all that.
Right.
So, first of all, let's talk about your hair, okay? Because, sis, I'm feeling it. Like,
you.
I'm feeling, is this half up? Is this half down?
So this is like a half up, giving you that coming to America slayage, you know what I'm
Yes!
saying? African queen goddess, you know, black
come through! You know, I gotta make it fun.
Yes. And I love your hair like that too. I told you that on your post. I love it. It's
Thank you so much.
To give your hair a break from the weave, rock your natural. So I love it.
And that's what I love about you because you're very versatile in a lot of things. So, like, what some people don't know about you is how I actually know you. Because I'm over here promoting bundles, but come through my ad sales lady. She is, not only is she the CEO and founder of her own company, but she works for another Black astounding company, which is BET. You work in the ad sales department, so of course I know you can sell your, you know what, off, okay?
Thank you. Is that what that means? That's good. No.
I would like to say so. I mean, listen, you have to generate and accumulate money for someone else's business. Why not put it into your own?
Absolutely, definitely. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about having women such as yourself on here. So I'm gonna get into all the questions. So besides you working for BT, I'll get a little into that later. Let's talk about, it's all about you today, okay? It's shedding some light on Bouquet Bundles. So how did you come up with Bouquet Bundles? How did you get into it? Like,
so I think you know this, Chantel, because obviously we're friends outside of work and everything.
yes.
But for years, I've been a licensed cosmetologist for 8 solid years. And prior to even being licensed, I just loved doing hair. I styled all my friends' hair. They were my guinea pigs. And I always experimented either on my own hair or my friends. So I've just basically been doing hair as far as I can remember since I was 8, just for fun on my dials. And then it evolved to my classmates. And, you know, I used to literally be in class braiding people's hair in the middle of class, like, especially at the end of the school year. So I used to get away with murder. I was the teacher's favorite.
Yes. So let's give everybody also some note of where you're from, because you're also from ...
I was born, I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, to all my islanders, my West Indians, but yes. I grew up in Philadelphia. I was raised in Philadelphia by my mom and my stepdad with my sister, and that's where I'm from. And in Philly, it's like a big hair town. Like, we love, you know, everything beauty. It's definitely a staple for hair and beauty.
So when was that moment that you said, okay, like I work for someone else's business, I'm going to start my own stuff? Like, what was that light bulb, or when was that when you said, you know what, I'm about to make a change?
Honestly, Chantel, I don't have like a light bulb moment because I always did hair or some sort of arts and craft thing on the side of every job that I have. Honestly, working at BET, this was the first time I haven't done hair full time, well, part time on the side. I kind of just
Okay.
wanted to focus in because ad sales was a different avenue for me. It was new to me, so I wanted to make sure I kind of dug deep into that and got focused on that. And I took a break from doing hair. But I would
Yeah.
say, as far as having my own business, as far as selling the bundles,
Yeah.
that was at least 10 years in the making. Like I always wanted to, I just never knew how.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to somebody? Because you know what? I feel like at this time, I'm seeing a lot of us step out of our comfort zones
Mm-hmm.
and actually like saying, okay, we're going to actually do something that makes us feel happy, gives us joy. Shout outs to Britt and Ariel with the Living List. Shout outs to Stas as well. I saw her on here
Hey,
too.
girl.
And
Girl.
that's our core group.
Right.
So, what would you say to anyone else who's like having a hard time trying to push themselves to even do something?
Honestly, I always say start by starting. Like you are
Yeah.
not going to be at your perfected level your first day. You know what I'm saying? I literally launched my website in the beginning of a quarantine, and I was like, damn, like I talk myself out of it so much. And Ariel and Anastasia, they can attest to me going back and forth. My best friends, like I go back and forth with myself a lot on when is the perfect timing to do things. And then I just kind of have to ignore that and just tell people start by starting. You're not going to be perfect the first day, but you grow and you learn as you go. Like even with my website is a work in progress. All you guys do need to know is that it's secure for those credit cards. It will be no faulty, nothing bounce it back, but it's still a work in process because I built it myself. So yeah, I just say start by starting and don't give up, because even if you're busy with like
Mm-hmm.
a full-time job,
Yeah.
dedicate an hour or two a day to your personal thing, and you'll actually be happier, just not only in life but working for somebody else. It'll just give you a sense of like relief.
Absolutely. And I want to know for yourself, what was the hardest part about launching? Because you launched during quarantine. So what's that tea like, sis?
Okay, so I launched during quarantine because of procrastination. I could have, my website was live for months at that point. I
Mm-hmm.
would say at least 3 months. So that was
Mm-hmm.
my fault. It just so happened when I officially launched it, they
Yeah.
issued a quarantine and that kind of, and back to my first point, I was like, I'm still going to push my brand, because if nothing else, if I don't get not one sale, at least people can see like, oh, Darcel's
Yeah.
selling hair. Oh, she has this texture. They'll get to learn what I'm doing and what I'm selling in the midst of the quarantine, because a lot of people do have time to just chill and be on social media and just look at things. So I
Facts.
kind of went in it with the mind state like, yeah, this is horrible timing to launch a business in like, if you're just looking at it from like the
Yeah.
regular eyes, but from a business perspective, it's not. It's giving my followers a chance to see what my brand is about, and also for me to grow and just slow walk into selling. It's not like I got 100 sales the first day, so now it's
Yeah.
easy. Like I know what to do when sales are coming in, and it'll be an easier transition when things start picking up.
Absolutely. And I also want to say, send out some hearts. I see y'all with the love. We appreciate together the
Yeah.
love, the hearts, the comments, everything. And also, if you have questions about Darcel and her business, or anything that pertains to just starting a business in general, make sure you put the question in the comment box. I will shout you out, and I will make sure it goes across the screen. Because we want to also, in this time, you said, I know you mentioned like it's horrible timing, but actually it really wasn't. It's actually
Agree.
the best time, because
Right.
no one can go nowhere. No,
Mm-hmm.
like we are definitely still working, but people find time everyone's always on Instagram. We're always
Mm-hmm.
keeping up, and somehow like Instagram is like a sense of news, whether it's new bundles, whether it's the things that are currently happening in the stage of affairs right now,
Right.
globally, as I should say, right now.
Yes.
So how does that feel that like exactly it's not horrible timing, but you actually launched it during the best time when people can pay attention?
Yeah. So wait, so what was the question? I think I missed
Oh,
it.
sorry. How does it feel that because you mentioned it, well, you started at the worst time because it's quarantine, but the opposite is that you actually started in the best time because people are able to pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's how I looked at it, Chantel. I just kind of took a step back, got out of my feelings, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna, because I even segued before like officially launching, like, hey, do you guys think during the quarantine is a bad time to start a business? And I had people take a poll, yes, no. So it was like half and half. A lot of people said yes, a lot of people said no.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was like, I'm gonna do it. My website is live. Whether I get one client or 5 or 10, I'm gonna just keep pushing. It has to start somewhere. So I just stayed, optimistic about everything. And then I already have a clientele base from back in Philly who are like ready to support and so excited about it. So it's there. I'm just glad I started for sure.
Well, I'm glad you started with something that you've taken from your 9 to 5 job that has been a benefit to your side job. Well, not even side job, your own enterprise and your own business.
Okay. I gotta shout out my team I wish I had my team at my 9 to 5 at my Bouquet Bundles, because when I say we go hard, we go hard, okay? One thing I took from BET ad sales is the fact that no matter what is going on in the world, our goals do not change. If our goal is this high, COVID is happening, things are happening, things are shifting, our goal is still going to remain right here. We're not going to stop till we get that goal. So the mindset is not, okay, let's make our target less so we can hit it because of COVID. It's how are we going to work around this at this moment of adversity to get to that same goal, because we're not going to reach that. We're going to reach that goal. So I take from that job resilience, determination, dedication, because the people who I work with, we are dedicated to making BET ad sales what it is. And like, I love working for Black leaders. BET might not be Black owned anymore, but we still work with a core of Black people who run the business, and they do it well. You know what I mean? BET is still standing. So that's definitely those are my takeaways.
So,
I'm laughing at Ariel. She like, I know that's right, girl. Yeah.
I'm over here like low key reading her comments, and I'm just trying not to.
I can't even look at the comments because I'm looking so old. I love y'all. Hey, Joan. Hey, Stas. Hey, Desi. I see you. Hey, Stasi. Gang, gang.
Gang to everybody. In regards to business in general, what's your hardest challenge? And then how do you continuously with that challenge, how do you overcome it?
Okay, so right now my hardest challenge is that I'm working alone. I literally don't have a team, but sometimes when I'm promoting on my Bouquet Bundles at Bouquet Bundles hair page, I say we a lot because I'm trying to manifest this team that I want. So my challenge is working by myself because I am the marketer. I am the I'm Amazon shipping. I'm out here at the post office and drop off and picking up envelopes, and so I'm like a one-man band. So that is the most challenging, but at the same time, I look at it as, it's just a starting point. Eventually it'll grow to where I need it to be, where I can afford to have a staff. So
okay, so you're gonna be out here, Madam CJ Walker out here. Listen, anything can happen now. Okay, anything can happen. So are you a wig maker as well? Because I know you have bundles, and people are probably wondering what's on your website. You want to shout out your website first before we get into the bundles?
Yes, so the website is bouquetbundleshair.com. what's that line? I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. My website, I built
Yes.
it myself. So I don't want
Yes.
to hear no shit about what's wrong with it. It's probably some things wrong, right? It's not perfect, but you will get your bundles and it'll be shipped to you in one piece. But yeah, so the website is bouquetbundleshair.com, and it was a point I was trying to make about my site.
The wigs.
The wigs. Okay, so I make wigs. I have made wigs. My friends sucker me and bully me into making their wigs, even though that's not what I want to do right now, due to just like my 9 to 5 being very stringent, and like I have a lot of things I got to do during the week, so it gets hard for me. But
Yeah.
it's not a service that I'm providing right now, but eventually it will be a service I provide. But everything on the site is there for you to make a wig or for you to take to a licensed cosmetologist to get a wig made.
Okay. Are there different colors? Are we looking at just natural colors? Are we looking at some blondes that we can do some watercolor on? Like, what we got, sis?
Definitely some blondes where you can do some watercolor on. I have, but most of my site has 7 textures, and it will grow to more textures. This is the pretty collection, and it has all the colors like one big. So the color I'm wearing right now, this is the color that's dominated on the site. You can dye it down to a blonde, but I always recommend people getting the snow petal blonde because it's like platinum. So from there, you can go to any other color. The only thing with that is I don't have multiple textures of the snow petal blonde. But again, that's something I will grow into because I like to test hair out, make sure it's good before I just throw it on the site. So right now, I just have what I know for sure I love.
Well, first of all, can I just say how I appreciate, I'm pretty sure that any other person who sells hair, I would assume that they do this as well. So I'm going to say collectively, since you like to say we, I'm glad that y'all test this hair out before y'all be giving it to us, because there's a lot of vendors who, you know, everyone gets their hair from, and they're not all the same person. But it's appreciative because it's like your representation of what you're selling. So I can definitely appreciate, first of all, how your hair looks right now. It looks gorgeous. I can appreciate before you sell it to me that, okay, I don't need to go through a screen test because I fully trust in the person who's selling me this.
And that's basically what I wanted, Chantel. Like, I wanted affordable hair, but quality hair. I wanted it to be hair that I would wear and I would rock, and that I would be like, yo, I love this hair. And it's to the point, body wave is my signature texture, but I really love every texture that's on the site right now. So it's kind of like, you can't go wrong with what you choose. And and I do plan on getting more vendors just so not to have my eggs in one basket. But again, that's going to be a slow walk because I have to test the hair out before I just throw it up on my site. So
how was that? During your process of making your business, how is that trying to figure out what hair is the best hair for your clientele?
That was the hardest. When you asked me what the hardest process was, I should have probably said this. Trying to find the best vendor was very hard. And then I would try to like troubleshoot. So I would get multiple vendors, right? Then I'll put this weave on my sister, this brand on my best friend, and this brand, and then try to get feedback. And though I value their opinion, it's like, I really need to try it for myself. So it takes longer if I'm trying it for myself because I literally got to wear it for a month versus me putting it on multiple people at the same time.
That's first of all, that's a lot of time to
and a lot of money.
Switching hair.
Girl, it's a lot. So that's a process in of itself, which is another reason why it took me this long to even launch.
Well, can I just say, if y'all don't know her, if you have worked at Viacom, you have seen this girl's face. She always has her hair done. I don't care what it is. She has it braids. She would have her hair like this. She'll turn around, have it curly, and you always have it laid. It's always nice. So if that is the case where it wasn't good, we would not know it. And that's just from one black sis to another. Every time I see it, I'm like, wait a minute, I like that too.
Thank you, Bill. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. Like, love you guys to death. Everybody at my job cracks me up because they're like anticipating what is my next hairdo or what Darcel going to come in with today. And what I do want people to know, even though I'm pushing like bouquet bundles and hair and weave, I have hair under hair, and at the end of the day, I'm about healthy, natural hair. Like, I love your hair right now in its natural state, Chantel. I want
Thank
all my
you.
clients that rock my weave to be able to feel confident with it and without it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I know that we together talked about, we're going to come back on here as well, and we're going to actually show what your hair looks like together. Well, us together. So she's
Yep.
gonna get me done and glammed up, y'all.
I can't wait.
Date is to be determined with all the things that are happening in the world.
Right.
But do you do hair on the regular anymore? Or is that completely something that is retired?
Okay. I hate to say I'm retired because I do sometimes get suckered into doing hair. Like, if it's my friend's birthday or one of my old clients' birthday and they reach out and they ask me, I sometimes say yes. But again, Chantel, you know where we work, and it is very demanding. So I can't always guarantee, like, I can be, and I'm about my business. Anybody who was a hair client of mine in the past, I could be off on one day and then you need your hair done, I'll do it. That's why I can't, like, I wasn't able to balance it out because I'm overly dedicated to when I'm doing things. So as of right now, I am retired. I do plan on doing like pop-up shops, but COVID kind of canceled that out for the summer. Don't know if I'm still going to do it at the end of the summer. We'll see. But I'll say I'm retired from a committed hairstylist lifestyle. But I will eventually do pop-up shops where I can, like, you know, hook people up with bundles, sew-ins, and different things like that. But it won't be on a consistent basis.
Got it. And I see some of the people in the comments. Yo, the comments is cracking me up.
Hey, guys.
They say you're not retired.
Who told me I'm not retired?
Hold on a second. Desi _G. What's up, sis?
That's my sis.
And then D. Ringgold say you're also a hairstylist, so this is perfect. So people know you to be a hair slayer, sis.
They lying, Chantel. They lying, girl.
All right.
Past life.
Okay, past life. Well, hopefully one day, you know, we all have to generate multiple incomes around here to keep this money flowing. But hopefully one day you'll be able to fully branch out on your own where, you know, you can be dedicated to just one thing instead of doing multiple things, because we all know that, like, no matter what you do, it's always going to be great.
Thank you. Yes.
So the hair. It's all about the hair right now. I want to see the we would like to see the hair.
Okay.
Which texture is your favorite?
So my absolute favorite is the pretty body wave texture.
Okay.
So that I do have right here. Are you ready for me to start showing them?
Yes. Go ahead, girl. We want to see it. I'm excited.
So I got my favorite 3 live to show you guys today. I'm just taking it out of the hairnet. This is the pretty body wave.
It looks very bouncy too, Darcel.
Thank you, Will. And that's why I love it, because this hair, honestly, Chantel, you can straighten it bone straight, even though I do have pretty straight texture on the website. If you're a girl that's like me, that one week you want it straight, next week you want it curly, crimped, this is the best bundle to get because it gives you that bounce back. You can get it super long, but even if you curl it, I find with just the straight texture, your curls drop faster. This will hold your curls and your crimps just longer. So this is why this is our signature bundle. It's my favorite bundle.
It's pretty.
Thank you. If you go on the Bouquet Bundles page, I have a highlight story with each texture in it. And the pretty body wave texture, you'll see me press it straight, and it's just like, it's everything. It's everything.
Someone said, do you make up the names?
Yes. Yes, I do. But yeah, this is the pretty collection altogether. So every name has pretty in front of it. So it's pretty straight, pretty body wave, pretty deep wave. What I'm wearing right now is pretty kinky straight. If you could like see closely, it's like a little crinkle.
I see the little like the crimps. It's pretty.
So this is my black girl magic hair.
Yes, I'm feeling it.
Yep. So the next texture I have to show you guys. Well, I'll stay on this since we're talking about pretty kinky curly.
Okay.
Pretty kinky straight.
I told you I really love that texture. I really love that one.
Thank you, Boo.
Yes.
And Honestly, I like this for us Black women just because it's hard sometimes to blend your hair into a silky straight bundle. So this
Mm-hmm.
can be pressed straight, but it's giving you that like if you took a braid out, or if you had natural hair and you blow dried it straight, that's the thickness this is giving you. And I recommend, even though this was 24 inches, I only needed 3 bundles, and this is like leftover. This is almost like somebody could do
Yeah.
another ponytail with this. It's a
Yeah.
lot of hair that comes in the pretty kinky straight.
Pretty.
So you really get your money's worth with this one. It's a little more expensive than our other textures,
Okay.
just because you get more with more for it.
I have a
So just
question about that one.
what's
When
that?
you straighten it, does it take out the crimp look? Like, does it actually give you, like, I don't want to say bone straight, but you know how when we straighten our hair after we blow dry it, does it give
Mm-hmm.
you like that supernatural straight, like bone straight look, or does it still have the crimps in it?
The crimps aren't in it. It gives you that straight look, but it's just not as, it's more blendable, if you will. Like,
Okay.
so you can press the crimps out. And I would suggest like up to 410 to 450 heat on your flat irons. It can't be like
Okay.
a weak flat iron is not going to get the crimps out, because this is like some
It's some
solid,
good stuff.
yeah,
We're going to just say
so
that.
some good stuff. So you do want to have that heat on 410 and up,
Okay.
450 if you can, yeah.
How much are the bundles, Darcel?
So for kinky straight, starting at 10 inch is $55 per bundle. And then it goes up to 30 inch, and 30 inches is $130 per bundle. And just the prices vary based on length. So I don't want to
Okay.
go, I literally have about 10 to 12 different lengths. So just
Mm-hmm.
not to go through everything, like 20 inches is 95 a bundle. Um, a common bundle length that people get is 20. I said that was 95. 22 is 100 per bundle. So
Okay.
it's different per length.
Someone said, this is Kay. This is my sister. She's also a hairstylist
Hi,
as
Kay.
well.
Yes, I saw her on your beauty talk.
Yeah, she said, I think she might be talking about the hair that you're currently talking about. Will it go back to the texture once you shampoo it?
Yeah, but just like with anything else, too much of anything will, just like with our natural hair, you press it to death, it's going to eventually not revert back.
Got
Same
it.
thing, if you look on my frequently asked questions tab on the site, I say that about coloring this hair. That's why I'm going to look into getting blonde hair with different textures, so you can color it and not have
Mm.
you compromise this crimp and this kink when you try to color it blonde. That will straighten it out a little bit more than you want it to.
Oh, I
So
love that.
so I put all the questions that I think people may have on my frequently asked questions tab, just so you know that even though you're coloring the hair, you may compromise your curls. So just think twice about it before you do it. And definitely have a licensed professional, somebody who would test it out prior to just doing all your bundles and then ruining your hair.
Mm. You got to tell them, sis. Tell them about what they need to be doing, okay?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And
So who's next? Which girlfriend is next?
next girlfriend up is our pretty deep wave. Now, this is one of my favorites. And what I want to tell people, because a lot of people, sometimes as hairstylists, we think everybody should just know everything we know, but that's not the case. This
Yeah.
right here is 20 inches, but look how short this looks, right?
Right.
So people have to remember, when you're ordering 20 inches, that's 20 inches with this bone straight. When it's deep wave, it shrinks up, it reverts up. So you're losing about 2 inches off the top, just because of how 2 to 3 inches off the top, because it's now crimped, it's now
Mm-hmm.
wave. So I want people to realize that when they're ordering bundles, because some people are like expecting this to be 20-inch worth of wave, and it's not. If you want like 20-inch worth, you might want to try getting 24-inch deep wave.
Got it. Just to
Oh,
get that length.
right,
Well, I guess the desired length after it's actually that texture.
right,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
And then I'm just separating it out so you guys can see like what it looks like.
It's so pretty.
Thank you.
I love that. Love,
So
and your hands are running right through it. I know. I saw Toya say that as well.
mm-hmm.
This is just gliding right through it.
And what I recommend, Chantel, I don't know if a lot of people don't do this, but ever since, I highly recommend pre-washing your bundles. They're coming from
Mm-hmm.
factories, and they have solutions on it sometimes just to protect it during their shipping. You want your hair, like your bundles freshly washed, just so when you add in your products, it's not stiff, it's not whatever. I find I get the best results when I wash my bundles first and then install. So that's also on my recommended. You'll see on the website, I put that in there so everybody knows. Like, I just try to inform people about the things that we might know as stylists that they might not know as consumers.
Yes. And those are two different things. So when you're able to tap into both, girl, nobody can tell you nothing, okay?
Exactly. And just too, because the price points for the kinky straight is different than, so the deep wave and body wave, they're the same price points. They start at 50 for 10-inch per bundle, and then 125 per bundle at 30 inches. And then just to give you a middle price point, 20 inches is 90 per bundle.
That's actually, can I say, that is not bad at all. 130 for, you said, for 30 inches?
125 for 30 inches.
So I would be copying some 30-inch bundles, because I'm gonna keep it 100% real. I never go over like 22 inches.
Really?
Because not because sometimes it's like, okay, that might be too long for me, because it's just not something that I always do. But then also the prices, it'd be like, let me just think about, I have to like always decide, okay, what am I gonna wear, and what's always the most affordable sometimes, because like, we all have bills and we all have things, and like sometimes the prices, like if I went to like Indique, I know we talked about Indique at one point, and they have beautiful hair, but girl, like even for a 20-inch, it's like $200 per bundle.
Girl, I couldn't afford Indique. When I was doing radio, I had the pleasure of interviewing the creator of Indique, Erica.
They're awesome too.
She was amazing. She gave me free bundles. I loved the hair so much. I was like, oh, let me go back and order some more. And I was like, oh. So them prices, I just couldn't afford it at that time in my life. But that's why when I made my brand, I was like, okay, I want this to be affordable for my Black women. So even though it lasts long, you guys can still feel like, okay, you're getting quality hair, good price. And I just wanted it to be affordable for the everyday woman, because I consider myself an everyday woman.
Girl, so am I. And we still have to always come in to work, whether we're on Zoom, whether we're on live, such as now, because we can't come on here looking crazy.
Right.
We are the everyday. We're still the everyday when we're able to relate to each and every person. If we really wanted to buy the expensive stuff, we would. But it's like, we can spend that elsewhere and put it back into our own community with people who are really providing the same type of quality work that someone else is doing. So I think that's amazing.
Yes, thank you so much, Bill. Yeah, that was definitely one of my points when I was looking for a vendor. Like, I wanted someone who I could get wholesale at a price where I could still keep my costs low, even though when I'm, keep my costs low for my clients. So
that's perfect. We have a question in the question box, and this is also from Kay. She said, let me actually post it.
Okay.
What is your true passion, and is that something you will ultimately want to pursue?
Hi, Kay. Okay, that's a great question. Those that know me know my true passion is writing and filmmaking. I haven't really made a full-length film. I went to school. I started out a film major, and then I switched over to telecommunications. But I'm a script writer. I've written scripts. I'm actually working on a documentary right now, but COVID and the quarantine kind of put that on halt. But I literally want to take all my talents and put it into one big thing. And the first full-length script that I wrote is actually about a young girl that becomes a hairstylist out of like pressure to do so. It was just a natural talent of hers that she ended up having to be forced into pursuing.
Wow. So first of all, I did not even know that about you myself. Really? I did not know that. So I'm waiting.
You're waiting?
Waiting. But one thing and one step at a time, as always. Yeah. Ariel asks about the question box. So y'all, there's a box next to the comment, literally, and it has the question mark. So you can actually write your questions in there, and then they'll come right through to us. So if you guys do have questions about her bundles, her hair, business questions, or anything else, please feel free to put it in the question box. That way I won't miss it if it is in the comments, because I know sometimes I can miss something.
Oh, my friends are so cute. I love y'all. I'm seeing every comment. Hi, C. Thank you, Toya. I really appreciate these guys. So
Yes, we gotta keep this like
thank
this whole momentum going. So keep up the hearts, the fire signs, all
you.
that, all that. Um, so where are you shipping? Are you shipping nationwide? Is it, or are you gonna be shipping globally? Because you
so
know people everywhere.
so I know people everywhere. My cousins in Trinidad, they're like, Darcel, send me bundles. And I'm like, girl, are you going to cover that shipping cost? So as of right now, shipping just nationwide, like in the US. And then
Okay.
eventually I do want to venture out to shipping worldwide. But
Okay.
I'm starting somewhere because that's another thing. I'm keeping my shipping fee as of right now, just at a flat rate of $7. I don't want to beat people over the head with shipping fees. So that's why I'm just trying to limit it to the US at this time.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
What about clip-ins? Because I know I listen, I use clip-ins too. I have been a
Right.
fan of them because I feel like there's something that's instant. Do you provide those as well?
So have made clip-ins in the past, and I spoke to you and several other of my girlfriends who told me that I should provide clip-ins. So that is definitely something coming in the near future for Bouquet Bundles. I'm going to reach out to my vendors, see if they provide clip-ins. If not, I can absolutely make those. And even when we do our thing, I know we don't have a date set yet, but I think I want to do clip-ins for whatever we decide to do for you, just so it's like a quick, just to show people even a clip on how to make it. Like I'll do a video on how to actually make clip-ins out of your bundles. Say
Mm-hmm.
you wore your bundles, sewed it in at least 3 or 4 times. It's already cut up. You can now take those same bundles because they're still good quality, wash
Yeah.
them, and then I can show you how to actually make them into clip-ins that you can use for another 6 months to a year after.
Yeah, I feel like somebody could easily. I mean, I know they're pretty. If you know how to sew, they're
Mm-hmm.
for a hairstylist or anybody who's kind of like into the YouTube do-it-yourself type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would like the hairs you have in now like would be perfect because
Thank
they're
you.
like easily blendable.
Definitely agree. And also to the people who don't know how to sew, I taught my cousin Ayola. Hey Yoli, I don't know if she's out there watching, but she always like she's arts and crafty, but she's not really good with the hair. And she actually made her own clip-ins out of Bouquet Bundles hair. So it's possible, even if you're not that artistic and you feel like it's just something you want to try, it's worth the try.
I saw someone say, do you part ways too?
Um, I have I have never made a U-part wig. I made a frontal wig. I've made closure wigs, um, and like a full wig cap, but I never have made a U-part wig, which I'm sure I can. It's just something I never got a request for, I would say.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, don't you sell the frontals and stuff too?
Oh, I'm lying. I definitely made a U-part wig before for one of my clients in the past. But yes, I do sell the frontals and the closures on the site as well.
So if y'all want to get a wig, or if y'all trying to try something new, we are in quarantine. Well, I don't know
Right.
what we're in anymore at
I
this
don't know
point.
either because I see people outside, girl. I was scared to go outside, but I went outside yesterday for the first time. I'm like, oh, people just really out here. Like, oh, okay.
People are kind of starting to, peek
Mm-hmm.
out real quick, and then
Right.
that we have people that are really out, like
Ye-
we're real,
We have some people that never went on quarantine to begin with, but that's neither here nor there. But
Yes. So that just means that if you all are trying to, try something different, I know you have the closures as well, or the frontals, and those are great for making wigs too.
absolutely, definitely.
Um, we have a lot of questions in here. Ariel says, how long do your bundles last?
So my bundles last at least a year and a half, like my personal, like when I wear them, but I also switch them out. So I have like different textures, but the average person I put on the site 6 months to a year, because from what I realized, the average person, they will throw their bundles in a plastic bag in the back or throw it in a drawer somewhere and kind of like not take care of it. So I have
Mm-hmm.
all those tips and tricks on how to make your bundles last, but they can absolutely last you 6 months to a year if you really a year and a half to 2 years if you take care of it. But just for like the average consumer and me thinking like an everyday girl, sometimes we don't take care of our weaves. We cut, once you take out an install, you're on to the
Yeah.
next thing and you're not really paying attention to the fact that, hey, you could really be saving money just by rewashing and taking and wrapping up your bundles till the next time you need it. So
And making sure that your hairstylists do not, when they install, they do not cut all the wefts so much when they're doing a sewing. Like, you do not need to cut so many pieces
Definitely.
of the weft. Like, keep that. I don't even know what the correct terminology is, but
That's
keep that
correct.
bundle going until you can't really anymore, so that it can last.
Yes, at least when say I have like 3 bundles and I'm sewing it in on someone, at least the first bundle and a half, I'm not cutting at all. And then
Yeah.
when I get closer to the top where I needed to lay a certain way, I'm cutting it. But then I have my girlfriend Shanique. She is like an excellent stylist. She can lay up all those 3 bundles in without cutting it until she gets to the end. So it's like it depends
Wow.
on the stylist and how good they are at like laying it in certain areas. But yep.
We have another question in the question box.
Okay.
Sister Boo, when I get my bundles, you got me on the install. Like, you're not retired. You not retired.
So this is what I mean when I say I get bullied. It's hey C. First of all, that is my sister Boo. Hey CC. You know I got you in the install, but now look, now we're gonna start a whirlwind because I said yes to see you on live, and there is gonna be a bunch of requests, but I got you. Yeah.
So I know you told us so many great things about your hair. I told y'all this is gonna be a light session because we need to take a little breather out from everything that's happening on the outside world. And you cannot go wrong with having extra bundles in your drawer and or in wherever you keep them, as you will. What's the biggest difference that you notice besides price from your bundles and let's just say someone else's that makes yours stand out?
I would say so. Besides price, that's a good question. Because I would say price. Like I would say price because I compare my prices to a lot of people's hair that I would purchase, and I tried
Yeah.
to make it lower, even though I know the quality was just as good as the next person's bundle.
Right.
So even though, so besides price, I would say it's light on the shedding. Like really, you're only going to see shedding at the part of the weft that you cut, like we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is easy to color. If you want to shift it down to a blonde color, it's easy to do that.
Come through.
What'd you say?
I said come through. Run the list, sis. Run the
Right.
list.
I'm like, I gotta go on my website because I got like everything listed on there, but I'm just trying to think off top. But yeah, so I would say light on shedding, definitely doesn't tangle easy. You know how some people's bundles get bunched up at the back of the neck. You're not going to get
Yes.
any of that, especially if you follow my instructions as to like pre-washing your bundles and things like that. So yeah, it's just great quality, low cost hair overall.
I would like some bundles like now. Which I even myself, I'm going to purchase bundles from you because I
Thank
would like
you.
to also support your business.
Oh, thank you.
Um, okay, so um, people know you as having a love and passion for keeping the hair healthy under the installments. So if you could partner with any other company or a person who specializes in hair care, is there anybody who or anything that it would be?
Hmm. So it's funny that you say that because I do love hair care. I'm actually creating my own. I plan on creating my own product, my own deep conditioner for scalp and hair. So
Yeah.
it's something that's in the works. I'm talking with a chemist. It's definitely expensive, so this will not be an overnight success. But as of
Yeah.
right now, the brand that I've been using is Chi. But I want to
Okay.
focus on just with everything that's going on, like black-owned brands. And I know it's thousands of black-owned brands that's out there for hair care that I want to kind of dig more deep into. I kind of fell upon Chi because as a cosmetologist, when you shop at the cosmetology store, it's certain like high-end brands that you kind of get into, and it works great. Like I haven't had any issues with it, but I do know like Design Essentials is a black-owned brand that I love that I feel like I can
Yeah.
be supporting more, and I definitely want to support smaller businesses even as well, so that I could possibly do retail on my site. But I will eventually be having my own product, shampoo, conditioner, and edge control to start with. I don't know when it's coming, y'all, but
Yes.
it's coming.
So I don't want to forget this part before we go a little bit further into our interview. Is there a promo code?
So, of course, when I come through the Chantel's Beauty channel, I got to make sure I got a beauty code. So, and rewind back to the beginning. Y'all know I built my website myself. So I couldn't figure out how to put the promo code on the actual site. So what we're going to do with the promo code, and Chantel, did you want to share the promo code with them?
Yep, I am putting it now. Do you want to, before I push it for everyone, do you want to say how much they're getting off?
So yes, it's going to be 15% off your total purchase. And you would have to DM me on the Bouquet Bundles hair page in order to get that promo code, in order to get that discount. So it's 15% off. And then
You
it's
have to
only
be a follower too. You have
yes,
to follow.
you have to follow my page and Chantel's page in order to get the promo code. DM me, and also this promo code will last the entire month of June, and that's how we're going to do it. But eventually, I will have promo codes on my actual website. But for right now, because I wasn't able to figure out how to put it on the site, we're going to do DMs, and I'll issue out an invoice to you guys. Once you guys shoot me over the DM, I'll be able to walk you through the next steps.
So I hope you guys heard that. Oh, my IG name is at Chantel Utley. So it's at CHANTEL and then UTLEY. Kay, can you please put that in the comments just so for everyone to see? So I can also pin that as well. But you can also see the flyers that we have put on our pages. You can do that. If you go on our stories, we have tagged each other in our stories as well. Yes. And each week I do come on here, and everyone who comes through, I do get promo codes. So I wanted to give a shout out to y'all and a shout out to Darcel for giving us a promo code.
Thank you. No problem. I definitely wanted to give back to you guys and for the
yes.
support.
And also, I wanted to say this too. When you guys get your stuff, when you guys buy her bundles, tag us in it. So definitely, we want to know what you think about the hair. We want to know that that you were on here. We want to we just want to know that you were satisfied with the talk from today, as well as the quality of hair that you are getting.
Yep. And I'm open to suggestions. I want reviews. I want people to let me know if they love it, they hate it. But again, if you follow the process that I laid out on the website for you, pre-wash those bundles, order ahead of time. Oh, also, guys, I'm telling everybody to order ahead of time. COVID has really slowed down my shipping. So something that would have taken naturally 3 to 5 days for me to ship to you is now literally taking 10 days. So some stuff I have inventory in-house, but if I have to order one bundle extra, that can stretch out my time frame because it's not coming as fast as it would due to COVID. So I just want everybody to bear with me. Remember, I'm a one-man band. I am the delivery boy. I am checking the orders. I am processing the orders and shipping the orders. So just bear with me. And I appreciate everybody thus far for understanding, because everybody who's ordered, they've ordered well in advance of whatever event they needed their hair done for. So let's keep that going.
And that's also something that is a challenge, but you continuously, got tongue tied, that you overcome. So shipping is no joke, guys.
No joke. Yeah. So thank you everyone for bearing with me. And I just wanted to scroll through the comments just in case we missed anyone or anything.
Yes. And also, if you guys have questions, before I go to one of my last questions, and we will eventually wrap up, please put your questions in the question box so that I can show you some love, and Darcel can actually know who the questions are coming from, so she can recognize the names. But I wanted to ask as well, Darcel, what are 3 main goals that you want for your business to flourish? It's already flourishing, but
thank you.
We want to hear some other goals.
So one goal, I want Bouquet Bundles to become a household name. I want everyone who rocks Bouquet Bundles, or if you say Bouquet Bundles, is one of those things like, oh, I love that hair. I wanted to stand by the quality. And at any moment, that's why I said give reviews, because, we're dealing with vendors, and sometimes as transparent as we hope they are being with us, sometimes that's not always the case, which is how it took me so long to get to my vendor, because I've had vendors in the past that I love their hair for for some time, and then they send me a bad batch of hair. So
Yeah.
I don't play that. I want you guys to tell me if you ever had a bad experience, because that's the only way I'll be able to fix it and grow. Another goal I want for my business is to eventually have like a mini, I guess like mini workshops for like young Black girls. So young girls, just to teach them how to style hair, whether it be their own hair, whether it be them learning a trade, or just because I feel like what I didn't really know when I was younger was that you could really be a millionaire off of like being a hairstylist, something that you're
Yes.
truly passionate about. So I kind of tried to get my hair license in high school and it didn't work out. So I ended up getting it later in life. But I feel like I could have skipped so many steps and really just focused in on what I wanted to, had I just had the push, or even went
Yeah.
somewhere and realized, okay, this is something I want to do. So I want Bouquet Bundles to be the funding of my little young girls classes and teaching them how to do hair. And also eventually a goal of mine is to be able to have like a reliable staff. Like I feel like when I work for a business or a brand, like how I work at BT, I work like it's my business. I put in the time and the energy and the effort like it's Bouquet Bundles. And I would want for eventually, when Bouquet Bundles has its own staff, for my staff and supporters to work like that for me. So.
And we're going to speak it into existence, because it's all about, we talked about this last week on my show with the Analog Girl. It's all about manifestation, and you believe it and it will be so. And
that's right.
It's going to happen. And
Thank
you know
you.
what we're all going to say? We was on the live with Chantel and Darcel.
Yeah.
She talked about it, so I can only see it flourishing. We have some questions coming in as well. They're flowing in here too. Someone said, how did you come up with the name Bouquet Bundles?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that was that's from my girl Joan. So let me tell you, okay, guys, I literally went through 1,000 names. But what I would do every time I think of a name, I would go on Instagram, type it in. If I see somebody has it, I didn't want it. I wanted something like super original. So you guys know that song. I think it is a Rihanna song with Bryson Tiller, and he's like, "Throw that ass back, Bouquet." And I was
wild thoughts. Wild thoughts.
Wild thoughts.
Yes.
That's my song. I love that song. I used to play it on repeat over and over and over. And I love flowers. And then when he said that, I was like, bouquet. I was like, Bouquet Bundles. I was like, oh, that's cute. I got a little ring to it. So then I went on Instagram, and it was like this page that said Bouquet of Bundles or something. And it was like one picture from 100 years ago. So whoever it wasn't like hair weave. I think she was like selling hair oil or something like that. So anyway, I ended up using the name because that page was like stagnant for like 5 years. So I was like, okay, I think this is safe to go out with. And I will tell you one thing, the LLC thing, guys, that's very important to trademark or verify your brand. I'm not going to tell you I was forced into an LLC. I wasn't ready. I wanted to do it myself because I heard you can like just research it and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Me procrastinating per usual. I waited, and I was in Florida for like a vacation with my nephew for his basketball team. And my girlfriend hit me up and was like, girl, somebody stole your name. And because I know how long it took me to get to that name, I was like on flames. And then I just felt pressure. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And I literally had to hit up my friend Dom, who does this for a living. And he LLC'd my business like within 24 hours. But
that's
I was
amazing.
into it, had to drop the money on vacation. I really didn't want to have to do that at that time. So I say all that to say, y'all,
secured the name.
When y'all come up with some original content or y'all original names, just secure it, because people will snatch it up. Like, you have ideas. How many times have you had an idea, and then before you can even execute on it, somebody else is doing it? And it's not because you told them. Everybody's thinking, everybody's minds is going, but people are executing on 1,000. And you know, sometimes I procrastinate, and that was definitely a lesson learned. But that's how I came up with the name.
That is, listen, if y'all are thinking about getting a business, I would suggest trademarking it and LLCing it ASAP.
Shout out to my mama. She's in the building. That's the Weeze 56. She said I'm ratchet.
I see some questions from Haran, and I'm trying to see if I can find one that we didn't already talk about.
Okay.
I'm trying to like decide. Sorry, y'all. But what's the hardest thing you had to overcome, or you've had to overcome while running a business? We kind of touched on it, but do you want to just say it one more time, just because we can kind of like wrap it up with that?
Yeah. I did say we had like two things, but I just wanted to go back to the point where the hardest thing for me is running a business by myself. Like I
Yeah.
always wanted a team. I feel like everything is easier when you have a team of like-minded individuals, all one goal to get to it. But at the end of the day, if all you have is yourself to get it done, I'm going to get it done regardless. I don't care if it's me, my mom, my sister. They help me out when they can, and I'm always grateful. But that is like the biggest challenge for me, is doing everything by myself. Sometimes I'm like, I'm human. With all the stuff that was going on with George Floyd, I literally had to just take some time off just to regroup and refocus, family issues and stuff. So just not being able to pass the baton to keep things going when I'm down, that's like one of the hardest things that I've faced.
So, in closing, if you had to name 3 words that describe how you feel about your baby, Bouquet Bundles, in the most positive light, what would those 3 words be?
Those 3 words would be resilience, um, determination. I don't know if this is a word, but I heard it in a movie. Stick to itiveness. Is that really a word?
What is it? Wait, say that one more time.
Stick to itiveness. It's like when you stick to something and you see it through to the end. I might have made up the definition.
Well, we can make it a word.
We
We
gonna
can
make
make
it
it
a
a
word.
part of the Urban Dictionary.
So those would be my 3 words, because like it's been a long time coming, Chantel, and like I
Yeah.
literally gave up so many times. My friends, they know. So I'm just happy to even be at this point where we're actually talking about it and it's available. Don't forget, y'all, Beauty Bundles 15 is the 50% off code. And yeah, it's just those would
And
be my.
I'm gonna just say what I think of you. It is bloom, glow, flow. You're saying on your site.
Thank
So
you.
I would just like to absolutely thank you for joining my beauty talk show. This has been an absolute treat. I'm so happy to see that you're doing well with your bundles.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
Everyone, please get your beauty bundles, and it is called Beauty Bundles 15 to get your 15% off. Please remember that beauty is on the inside, beauty is on the outside, and always beauty is loving yourself. And Darcel, like I'm so happy you came on here. This has been amazing.
Thank you, Boo. Thank you for having me. I love you, Chantel. I adore you. Every time I see you, it's good vibes. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I can't wait to see you and hug you in person.
I know.
I'm used to seeing you in the halls every once in a blue, or you'll come down to our floor. We don't get that anymore, so I do miss you. And thank you.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing with your beauty talks and what you're doing with your new favorite couple. I'm always promoting and pushing. You and your
Thank
boyfriend
you.
is super cute. I love it. So
Thank you.
you got my
I'm so,
support, boom.
thank you so much. Y'all stay tuned. We will be coming back with something else to show off her bundles. But
Yes,
you gotta continue to follow our pages and continue to follow our stories to
that's right.
see when that happens. So thank you all and have a great night, and always stay safe in these times.
Thank you, guys. Mwah. Bye, Chantel.
Bye.
Bye.